Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Let's be honest. Most marketing teams today are creating messaging in a vacuum. So, what do I mean by that? Well, of course, they know their product, they know the product features, they know the benefits of those features, and even the use cases or industries that they're meant to serve. But then what happens? Well, then we go and we build campaigns, we launch content, and we put it out there in the market, and we hope that it lands. And when we do that, what happens? We oftentimes get blindsided by objections we never really considered. But what if you could simulate a buying committee, the entire buying committee, before you ever go to market? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to show today. We are going to use AI to build a virtual panel of decision makers to pressure test messaging before we ever go to market. Now, if you work in B2B, especially in the upmarket B2B, more enterprise space, you know that you're not selling to an individual, you're selling to a committee of players. And each one of those players is going to have different goals, different concerns, different deal breakers that you must consider. So in this particular example, I worked in the restaurant tech space for a number of years. So in this example, I'm going to do a company selling point of sale solutions to a large national restaurant chain. And in this scenario, your buying committee, here's a few of the individuals you're going to see in the buying committee. The COO, they're really laser focused on operational efficiency. The CIO or head of IT, it's going to be all about integrations and security. Your finance or your CFO, right? What is the cost? What's the ROI, the total cost of ownership? And then finally, your regional directors. These are more the boots on the ground people that want to know, how is this going to impact my staff? Training, usability, those kinds of things. Well, before each one of these is going to evaluate your solution through a completely different lens. And the trick is, how do we ensure that we are covering all of those bases, all of those lenses? So let's dive in. So I went ahead and ran these prompts ahead of time for the interest of keeping it concise. But before you can simulate a panel, first off, you got to feed it the right context. In this particular example, we're going to create some detailed personas. So my prompt here, I highlighted those the buying committee members that we just talked about. And what I'm asking it to do is to create detailed buyer personas. And for each, I want to understand, what are their goals? What are their top concerns? What does success look like? Objections, those kinds of things. And so as you can see here, it gives me quite a bit of information. Starts with the context. This is what the COO owns, and this is what they're measured on. And then it goes into more detail, their goals, their top concerns, what success looks like, and objections. I know this is pretty spot on because, again, I've got experience working in this industry. Now, let me also say at this particular point that you likely have some information on your personas, right? From talking to sales, maybe even talking to your customers, hopefully. But that's okay. You can supplement, take that information and complement it with what we can get here. We can enrich it with what we can get from AI. But in this example, again, it gave us a lot of really good information that we can consider before we start to build campaigns, build pitch decks, whatever it may be. So now that we've got our personas, we understand what they care about most. Now we're going to activate it. We're going to ask it to act as a panel of decision makers to evaluate a new POS system. Now, let me be clear. I'm not specifying a POS system. We're kind of starting at a high level. If you're evaluating a new POS system in general, here's what I want to know is, what are your initial reactions, concerns, questions, those kinds of things. So as you can see here, initial reactions here. The platform looks promising, but I need proof it improves speed of service. Rollout logistics. We have 5,000 locations. That's not insignificant. Success is going to hinge on training. And here are the top of mind questions that we've got. How robust is it offline? Can we push menu LTO items, chain wide in hours, integration quality, etc. And the concerns and watchouts. So we do this for each one of these audiences. So we're getting this perspective from your operations, your technology, your finance, and even your boots on the ground perspectives. So as you can see, we're starting to build a pretty robust snapshot here. So now we're ready to actually have it evaluate our messaging. So in this particular, full disclosure, I took a leading POS provider out there and I reverse engineered its messaging from its product page and homepage to get a messaging value framework. And so that's what I've uploaded here. Here is our core product and value messaging. And as a panel, I want you to respond. What's resonating? What's missing? What concerns would you have? So as you can see, cross-panel, across all of them, here's what's resonating. 3 key points. That's great. Here's what's missing. Quite a few points in here, and then some top concerns. And then it breaks this information down by each individual player. Again, such rich, great information to have to be able to, again, pressure test marketing campaigns, sales pitches, whatnot. And so finally, what I've done is now that we've done this, I've got a little bit more specific. It also include recommendations to strengthen the pitch, which is really cool. And the final thing I did is I said, okay, I want to pinpoint a couple of individuals in the buying committee and really pinpoint questions for them. For the COO, what would stop you from moving forward with this platform? And the CIO, what red flags are you looking for when we get into pilot phase? By the way, if you're rolling a POS solution out to 5,000 restaurants, you are absolutely going to have a pilot phase. So what are those red flags? And then finally, as a panel, why would you choose this POS or not? And so the executive response here, COO, here's what would stop me from moving forward. These are the hard stops. Again, this is probably pretty good information to know if you're going into a pitch meeting, a sales meeting. What red flags would you look for from a technology perspective? Architecture and data, security governance, performance resilience, very common ones. And then finally, as a panel, we would choose if the pilot can prove these three key things. Financial clarity and payback for the CFO, rollout and support for regional ops metrics. We would not choose it if we observe these things, right? So again, these are the objections that you want to make sure that you are prepared to handle or you are handling in your marketing messaging. And then finally, decision gates, go, no go. Again, very important information. So again, a lot of really great information that you can use in very quick amount of time. You can get this panel of experts, panel of buyers from your buying committee that can help you assess, is my marketing going to hit the mark, more likely to hit the mark, or sales efforts more likely to hit the mark than not. Another way you can operationalize this is you can create templates, right? If you're looking at more sales materials versus marketing materials, you can literally create templates or custom GPTs to automate this and really get these tools across your entire organization. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. Very quick, a lot of information here very quickly, but I just wanted to give you a taste of what could be. If you're interested in learning more or digging deeper into what I did here or how to operationalize it, just drop a comment and I'm happy to follow up with you. If you actually want a copy of the prompts, I'll give you the framework of the prompts that I created there so you can go make them your own. Do me a favor, go to this URL right here, subscribe to my newsletter, and when you do, I will send this right over to you. Again, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.